Bone formation, also known as ossification. Ossification is the process that produces the new bone tissue, which bone tissue replaces embryonic tissue to form the skeleton. In addition, the process of ossification is used throughout life to remodel bones. There are two types of ossification, which is the first one is intramembranous ossification, second one is endochondral ossification. So today we're going to talk about intramembranous ossification. Intramembranous ossification is the bone is generated on or within the fibrous connective tissue membranes. There are 4 stages in this intramembranous ossification. The first stage is development of ossification center. During this stage, those mesenchymal cells will cluster around in the area where the bone will eventually work. Then, those mesenchymal cells will differentiate into osteoblasts, known as bone-forming cells, in the region we call as ossification center. As we can see, these osteoblasts populating in this region. Also, it has the blood supply for this to actually work. It has to have the blood supply move into this area to cause the differentiation of the cells. The second stage in this intramembranous ossification is calcification. The osteoblast will secrete osteoid. Over a few days, osteoblasts become osteocytes, and calcium and other mineral salts are laid down to hardening the matrix. The next stages is the development of trabeculae. It still has the osteoblast in this area, so it has the continuous development of new bone. The bone matrix develops thin columns of bone called trabeculae, which fuse to form a spongy bone. Blood and lymphatic vessels grow into the surfaces of this newly formed bone and develop a red bone marrow. The last stage is the development of periosteum. Outside of the bone, a dense layer of connective tissue called periosteum forms. Most outer layer of spongy bone are eventually replaced by compact bone, but the center it will remain spongy. The example of bones that form through this intramembranous ossification are flat bones of the skulls, most facial bones, which is the bones that are associated with the anterior portion of the skull, the mandible, your lower jaw, the movable part of the skull, and the medial part of clavicle. Clavicle are referred as our collarbone. Intramembranous ossification also occurs with skull bones in childhood. At birth, skull bones are separated by fontanelles or soft spots made up of fibrous tissue. Fontanelles in the fetal skull allow for easier passage through the birth canal and rapid brain development. Up until adolescence, the fontanelles slowly ossified into sutures, providing the brain with a greater protection.